ओम ज्ञानम तिमिरंधस्य ज्ञानांजनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वरूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुवैष्णवं च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहायं रघुनाथवितं तं सजीवं साधवेतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहायं दत्ता श्रीशाखावितं च नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पार्षदेशतारिणे हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधाकांत नमस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुत देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंच कल्पतरुभ्यश्च च कृपा सिंधु एव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। यस प्रोजी आप असाइन कर दीजिए शीला प्रभुपाद।
चलो आप शीला प्रभुपाद बन जाइए and Kanak Mataji can be the other speaker.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yes, therefore it is said that what is food for one is poison for another. People are thinking that because they cannot survive on the moon, no other living entities can. Everyone thinks of things in a relative way, in his own terms. This is the meaning of frog philosophy. The frog is always thinking of things in relation to his well. He has no power to conceive of the Atlantic Ocean because his well is only experience. God is great, but we are thinking of God's greatness in our own terms, in terms of relative greatness. Some insects are born at night, they grow at night, have their children at night, and die at night. They never see the sun. Therefore, they conclude that there is no such thing a day. If you ask the insect about the morning, he would say there cannot be any morning. Similarly, when people hear of Brahma's long duration of life from the scriptures, they do not believe it. They say, how can anyone live for such a long time? In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, shloka 17, Krishna states, Sahasra yoga prayanantam ahar yad brahmano vidhu ratrim yoga sahasrantam teho ratra vido jnana. By the human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together in the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also in the duration of his night. Thus, Brahma, by these calculations, lives for so many millions and trillions of years. We cannot believe this, although evidence is given in the scriptures. In other words, we conclude that Krishna talks nonsensically while we speak as authorities. Even great scholars say that these scriptural statements are all mental speculation, although these men are nothing but rascals. They pass for reputable scholars. They place themselves above God's position by attempting to refute or deny the statement of God in the revealed scriptures. In this way, so many fools in the guise of scholars, scientists, and philosophers are misguiding the whole world.
Of course, so much is being written about Darwin's theories. In any library, there are hundreds of books on these theories.
Do they accept or reject them?
Generally, they accept him, but there are some who are very critical.
Darwin speaks about the evaluation of the species of life, but he has no real information about spiritual evolution. He knows nothing about the progress of the spirit soul from lower forms of life to higher forms. He claims that man has evolved from monkeys, but we can see that the monkey is not extinct. If the monkey is the immediate forefather of a man, why is monkey still existing?
Darwin says that the species are not created independently, but are descendant from one another.
If there is no question of independence, how can he abruptly begin with a certain species? He must explain how the original species came into existence. एक सेकंड प्रभु जी, ये समझ नहीं आया प्रभु जी, क्या है थोड़ा सा समझाएंगे?
एक second. Darwin says that the species are not created independently but are descendant from one another. Descendant मतलब एक से दूसरी आ रही है, है ना? Basically they are not मतलब descend हुए हैं. They are not created independently. For example, lion, monkey, donkey, and etc. They does not coexist. एक से दूसरी आई, दूसरे से तीसरी आई, तीसरे से चौथी आई, वो हुआ इसका.
ओके,
Clear हो?
यस प्रभु जी, यस. तो प्रभुपाद कह रहे हैं कि फिर ओरिजिनल कहाँ से आई, मतलब कहीं से तो स्टार्ट हुआ होगा.
Yes.
ओके, यस. कनक.
Scientists claim that the earth was created by biological chemistry, and they refuse to teach that God created the earth because they think everyone will consider them fools.
If their biology and chemistry are so advanced, why don't they create something? They claim they may be able to create life in the future, but why in the future? Life is already created. Is science based on the future? We should trust no future, however pleasant we may think it will be. Everyone is thinking the future will be very pleasant, but what assurance do we have of this? They have to accept that they do not know what truth actually is. They cannot even produce a spear of grass through their biological chemical experiments. Nonetheless, they are claiming that creation is produced by some chemical or biological method. Why does no one question all this nonsense?
In the ultimate analysis, when they consider the origin of life, they say that everything started from matter. In other words, living matter comes from non-living matter.
From where is this living matter coming now? Did it come from non-living matter in the past and not at the present? How is ant coming? Is it materializing from dirt? Even an ant does not come from inert matter. What proof do they have of such a theory? Darwin claims that in the distant past, no really intelligent man existed. That man simply evolved from the apes. If there was no intelligent brain in the past, how is that these Vedic scriptures were written thousands and thousands of years ago? How do they explain a sage? How do they explain a sage like Vyasdev?
They have no explanation. They simply say these are unknown forest sages.
Vyasdev may be unknown to them, but nonetheless he was there. How is it he got such a brain? He may be unknown to you or to me, but nonetheless his brain work is there. His philosophy is there, his language, linguistics, poetic arrangement, and verbal strength. You may not know the person, but you can understand the brain.
Weren't all the varieties of animals existing from the beginning?
Yes, simultaneous creation is verified by the Bhagavad Gita. All the varieties of animals and men, as well as demigod, were existing from the beginning. A living entity wants a certain type of body, and Krishna gives it to him. Because he desires things in a certain way, he associates with certain qualities of nature in matter. According to his association, he receives a particular type of body. The psychological forces, the mind, thinking, feeling, and willing, determine the particular type of situation and body in the living entity he receives. The revolutionary process is there, but it is not an evolution of species. It is not that one species of life develop from another. For as Krishna states, अव्यक्ताद् व्यक्तः सर्वः प्रभावन्ते अहरगामि रात्रे अगामि प्रलीयन्ते तत्र तत्रैव्यक्ता समा samnake. When Brahma's day is manifest, this multitude of living entities come into being, and at the arrival of Brahma's night, they all are annihilated. Oh, nice. The evolution is the spiritual evolution of individual living entity to the various species of life. If one enters into the body of a fish, he has to undergo the revolution process step by step. If one is on the top of the stairs and somehow falls down, he again has to go up the evolutionary staircase step by step. Of course, the scientists are busy making so much research that they cannot understand this. If you tell them they are going to be trees in the next life, they think you are speaking nonsense. After all, what can we learn by research? When the cause of all causes is known, then everything is knowable, because everything knowable becomes known, and nothing remains unknown. As the Vedas state, Yasmin Vijnanate Sarvam Evam Vijnanatam Bhavati. If One knows the absolute truth, all other truth become known. If we don't know the absolute truth, we are in ignorance. One may not be an official scientist or philosopher, but he may challenge anyone and talk boldly if he only knows one thing, Krishna. This contemporary civilization is so proud of its independence, but actually it is so much dependent on oil. If the oil supply is stopped, then what will these rascal scientists do? They cannot do anything. Let them try to manufacture oil in their test tubes, enough oil to run their civilization on. At present, there is scarcity of water in India. What can the scientists do about this? They may know the chemical composition of water, but they cannot produce it when there is a great scarcity. They require the help of clouds and all that is God's manipulation. Actually, they cannot do anything. They have gone to the moon, but for all their labor, they have simply take away some dust and rocks. The rascal government exacts taxes and spends money unnecessarily. This is their intelligence. It is a state of asses, that's all. The politicians have no sympathy or compassion. They do not consider that the hard earned money is coming from the public and they are spending it by shooting big rockets off to other planets. All they do is promise to bring back more dust. First, they may get a handful of dust, then they promise to bring back tons of dust. What is the meaning of all this?
They
Prabhuji,
believe that.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
sorry, yeah, I was just gonna say, Mata, after this, Mataji can
Yes, yes,
play.
Prabhuji.
Srila Prabhupada and Anushka Mataji can do the other person.
Okay, okay, sure, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Anushka Mataji.
Ji, Hare Krishna. They believe that there may be life on Mars.
They may believe or not believe. What is the gain? What we do know is that life is here. They know this, yet they are engaged in fighting and in killing life. Here is life. Here is a human being. Life is here, undoubtedly. But they are busy trying to destroy it with their big bombs. This is their scientific advancement.
They are very curious to know what is going on other planets.
That means that for their childish curiosity, they are spending so much money. They can spend so much to satisfy their curiosity. But when so many poverty stricken countries ask them for help, they say there is no money. They are very proud to go to the moon, but why don't they take information how to go to Krishna's Golok Vrindavan? If they go there, all their curiosity will be satisfied. They will learn that beyond this inferior energy, there is indeed a superior spiritual energy. This material energy cannot work independently. The spiritual energy has to join it. Material elements are not created for themselves, it is the soul that is creative. We may try to make something with matter, but matter does not create itself. Hydrogen and oxygen will come in contact only when moved by the superior energy. Only fools can accept the entire cosmic manifestation, which is only matter, to come into being automatically. We may have a nice car, but if there is no driver, what is its use? Unless a man knows how to work a machine, unless a man pushes a button, the machine does not work. Similarly, without the superior energy, the material energy cannot act. Behind this wonderful cosmic manifestation is the direction of a superior energy. All this information is given in the scriptures, but still people will not believe it. Actually, everything is God's property, but people are claiming this property to be theirs or their countries. Now they are talking about the problem of overpopulation, but the fact is that God has supplied enough. Actually, there is enough land and enough food if it is properly used. People are artificially creating problems, and the scientists are helping them by giving them so many destructive devices. They simply encourage the rascals and rogues who are trying to use up God's property. If you help a murderer or a thief, you also become a criminal. Is that not so? There is so much trouble in the world because the scientists are helping all the thieves and rogues. Thus, they are all criminals. Tena evu saha. One who does not recognize the proprietorship of the Supreme Lord is a thief. Our mission is to bring these rascals to their senses. Now, one must find out the means to do this. The rascals are suffering. But because they are the son of God, they should not suffer. They do not know that there is God or that there is happiness. They know nothing of bliss or of eternal life. They are carrying on so much research and living for 50, 60, or 70 years. After that, they do not know what is going to happen. They have no knowledge that life is eternal. Actually, their position is like that of an animal. An animal does not know what is after death, nor does he actually contemplate death. He does not know why he is here, nor does he know the value of life. Under the influence of Maya, the animal supply simply goes on eating, sleeping, defending, mating, and dying. That's all. People are enduring so hard, but for what purpose? They say that they are struggling so hard to make provisions for the next generation. But what are the provisions for? They cannot reply to that. This Krishna conscious movement is meant to give real purpose to life by establishing.
एक
Please scroll
सेकंड,
down.
इसका मतलब क्या है? They said it, they are struggling so hard to make provisions for the next generation, but what are the provisions for?
ये कि हम लोग गधे की तरह लगे पड़े हैं कि जो हमारे बच्चे हैं और उनके होने वाले बच्चे हैं उनके लिए हम लोग वेल्थ इकट्ठा करे ही जा रहे हैं
But what are the provisions for?
कि मतलब ये हम किसके लिए कर रहे हैं
वो कह तो रहे हैं बच्चे के लिए.
They are struggling so hard to make provisions for the but what are the provisions for
जी थोड़ा गाइड.
हाँ, एक कोई ना मेरा स्क्रीन ब्लैक हो गया था सडनली, तो मेरे को वापस देखना पड़ेगा. They say that they are struggling so hard to make provisions for the next generation. ये लास्ट थोड़ा सा मेरे को समझ में आ रहा है जी. बेसिकली जो जिस है वो माता जी ने ऑलरेडी बोल दिया. They say कि हाँ हाँ it's provision for next generation, but what are the provisions for? I'm not getting it. Yeah.
थोड़ा मतलब वो, क्योंकि मतलब ये प्रभुपाद दोनों चीजें एक लाइन में कह रहे हैं ना कि वो लोग कहते हैं कि हम नेक्स्ट जनरेशन के लिए प्रोविजंस कर रहे हैं, बट व्हाट आर द प्रोविजंस फॉर. मतलब उसका आंसर तो खुद ही दे दिया. या तो वो ये कहना चाह रहे हैं इंटेंशन से कि मतलब कुछ भी कर लो. हम सोचते हैं कि
It's okay.
प्रोविजन बना रहे हैं.
That's okay. Don't worry. We can
yes
move
yes
around. Move forward. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
yes.
Get the gist of it here.
Okay.
they cannot reply to that this Krishna conscious movement is meant to give real purpose to life by establishing Krishna, God, as the center of everything. It is therefore to the scientist's benefit to understand this important movement.
Okay. We are moving to the next chapter, chapter 7.
Okay. Now, Anushka Mataji can be Prabhupada and I can play the questioner.
Again conversation again. Okay.
नहीं मैं assume कर रहा हूँ, ये नहीं पता.
नहीं.
Okay, then we can just follow the order, proper order. Yeah.
प्रभु जी आप कंटिन्यू कर लीजिए, और मेरे ख्याल से ना ये छोटे छोटे हैं तो
2-3 पढ़ सकते हैं. It's alright.
10 पढ़ लेते हैं प्रभु.
अच्छा ठीक है.
जैसा आप कहे 16 है ना. हाँ तो 4 पढ़ लेते हैं
जी. ठीक है.
ओके प्रभु जी. यस. रिटर्निंग टू द eternal religion. यस प्रभु जी.
थोड़ा सा लोड होने में मेरा टाइम लग रहा है अभी.
हाँ जी.
Srila Prabhupada lives in America on September 18, 1965 as the Indian steamship Calcutta near Boston's Commonwealth Pier. Srila Prabhupada prays to Lord Krishna in a moving poem. Oh, अच्छा poem है पूरी है. I am simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul. वो आपने सुना होगा ना, नाचो नाचो प्रभु नाचो. But I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me. But I guess you have some business here. Otherwise, why would you bring me to this terrible place? Most of the population here is covered by the material modes of ignorance and passion. As absorbed in material life, they think themselves very happy and satisfied, and therefore they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudeva. I do not know how they will be able to understand it. But I know your causeless mercy can make everything possible because you are the most expert mistake.
Okay.
Nacho, nacho, Prabhu, nacho.
Anushka Mataji.
How will they understand the mellows of devotional service? O Lord, I am simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. All living entities have become under the control of the illusionary energy by your will, and therefore, if you like, by your will, they can also be released from the clutches of illusion. I wish that you may deliver them. Therefore, if you are so desire their if you so desire their deliverance, then only will they be able to understand your message. The words from the Srimad Bhagavatam are your incarnation, and if a sober person repeatedly receives them with submissive your
Oral.
oral reception, then he will be able to understand your message.
Kanak.
It is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2, 17 to 21, Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who relishes his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regularly hearing the Bhagavatam and rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is practically destroyed, and loving service unto the glorious Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, established as an irrevocable fact. At the time of living service, established in the heart, the modes of passion, rajas, and ignorance, tamas, and lust and desire come, desire from disappear from the heart. Then the devotee is established in goodness, and he becomes happy. Thus, established in the mode of goodness, the man rejuvenated by loving service to the Lord gains liberation from material association, mukti, and comes to know scientifically of the personality of Godhead. Thus, the knots of the heart and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive actions is terminated when one sees the self as master.
12th तक continue करना है.
He will become liberated from the influence of the modes of ignorance and passion, and thus the inauspicious things accumulated in the core of the heart will disappear. How will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? I'm very fortunate, I'm very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. Therefore, I'm seeking your benediction so that I can convince them, for I am powerless to do so on my own. Somehow or other, O Lord, you have brought me here to speak about you. Now, my Lord, it is up to you to make me success or failure as you like.
O spiritual master of all the worlds, I can simply repeat your message. So if you like, you can make my power of speaking suitable for the understanding. Only by your causeless mercy will my words become pure. I'm sure that when this transcendental message penetrates their hearts, they will certainly feel engladdened and thus become liberated from all unhappy conditions of life. Oh Lord, I'm just like a puppet in your hand. So if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance. Make me dance. Oh Lord, make me dance as you like. I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge, but I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. I have been designated as Bhaktivedanta, and now, if you like, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhaktivedanta. Signed, the most unfortunate, insignificant beggar, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, on board the ship Jaladuta, Commonwealth Fire, Boston, Massachusetts, USA, dated 18th of September 1965. Jai Prabhupada. Prabhuji, it's 8:26. Shall we continue?
I think we can probably ask if anybody has any comments, reflection, or questions.
Yes.
I have one reflection. जैसे अभी हमने देखा कि प्रभुपाद अमेरिका जाने से पहले लॉर्ड कृष्णा को इतना हम्बली प्रे कर रहे थे और मतलब इतना एलिवेटेड सोल होने के बाद भी खुद को ऐसे शो कर रहे थे कि वो कितने फॉलन है. तो मुझे ये लगा कि हमें भी कुछ भी स्टार्ट करने से पहले कृष्णा से प्रे करना चाहिए कि हम सही में कुछ नहीं कर सकते और जो भी कुछ कर रहे हैं तो वो कृष्णा की वजह से ही कर रहे हैं. तो शायद जो भी हम मेटेरियली भी चाहते हैं और स्पिरिचुअली भी चाहते हैं, जो भी हमारे काम बने तो वो इजीली बन ही जाएंगे अगर हम इस श्रद्धा के साथ कृष्णा से प्रे करेंगे कि लाइक वी रियली वांट टू डू दैट।
नहीं, आपका काफी अच्छा माता जी। पर होता क्या है ना कि ये जो ह्यूमिलिटी है इतने आसानी से आती नहीं है। आपने जितने भी आचार्य हैं उनके आप जब वैष्णव सॉन्ग सुनेंगे आपको मतलब लगेगा रियली, आई मीन कम ऑन, ये कैसे हो सकता है? आई मीन but yeah, but that's not like they are saying it for the sake of saying. They genuinely have those emotions. But yeah, we should practice that, and eventually one day maybe we will have those that feeling, genuine
यस,
feeling.
हमने वीडियो में भी देखा है कि मतलब प्रभुपाद यूज्ड टू क्राई while praying to कृष्णा। तो मतलब हम लोग हैं तो हम लोगों को तो जैसे सहजिया भक्ति आती है कि भगवान को देख के रो रहे हैं, बट दे एक्चुअली कनेक्ट टू द कृष्णा एंड देन क्राई। हम लोग तो
Yeah,
मतलब अगर हम लोग रो भी रहे हैं तो हम लोगों को खुद को ऐसे लगता है कि ड्रामा हो रहा है, कुछ हो रहा है, बट
yes.
व्हेन वी कुड सी द वैष्णव्स एंड प्रभुपाद तो लाइक अल्टीमेट सोल है, बट जब हम उन्हें देखते हैं तो ऐसा लगता है हाँ दे आर लिटरली क्राइंग फॉर कृष्णा।
Right.
जैसे वो है ना एक वैष्णव गीत है नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर जी का, जिसमें मतलब मुझे अच्छा लगता है वो, उसमें एक लाइन आती है जिसमें फर्स्ट लाइन नहीं आई थिंक, उसमें वो बोलते हैं कि मैं पतित से भी पतित हूँ, मतलब सबसे ज्यादा पतित मैं ही हूँ। तो वो पढ़ के भी ऐसे लगता है सुन के कि ये क्यों बोल रहे हैं ऐसा, मतलब इतने शुद्ध भक्त होके भी वो शायद जैसे नवीन प्रभु जी बोल रहे थे उतनी ह्यूमिलिटी आना ना, दैट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट। मतलब वो स्टेज पे तो बहुत जैसे रेयर सोल्स होते हैं वही पहुंच पाते हैं शायद।
वही उनका हुआ। फिर भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर ने लिखे हैं, भक्ति सिद्धांत महाराज ने लिखे हैं, काफी सारे वैष्णव आचार्य के आप सॉन्ग देख लीजिए। आई मीन जब उनको पढ़ते हैं वो मेरे को एकदम क्लिक नहीं कर रहे हैं सडनली। भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर का एक बहुत बढ़िया भजन है, अभी बहुत दिनों से मैंने एक्चुअली पढ़े नहीं है, बट या जैसा आप वो पतित पावन वाला बोल रही हैं आप ना, मोसा पतित प्रभु ना पाए,
वही वही वाला।
और भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर का भी एक बहुत सुंदर भजन है। एनीवेज द पॉइंट इज, जो आपने बोला ना, वो एक फीलिंग आना जेन्युइनली मेरे अंदर तो नहीं आती है, एटलीस्ट आई कैन नॉट कमेंट फॉर एनीबॉडी। या हम लोग बोलते हैं फॉर द सेक ऑफ, और आपको एक बहुत अच्छा टेस्ट करना है ना इसका कि हम कितनी ह्यूमिलिटी हैं। ह्यूमिलिटी आप बोलते हैं ना कि ओ प्रभु जी, मैं बहुत गिरा हूँ, मैं ऐसा हूँ प्रभु जी, मैं तो कुछ नहीं हूँ, कुछ नहीं हूँ। लेट अदर पर्सन स्पीक दैट, यू डोंट स्पीक दैट। सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल, कनेक्ट माता जी, इन योर केस आप जैसे सब डिवोटीज से बोल रहे हो, अरे प्रभु जी मैं तो बहुत ऐसी हूँ, कुछ नहीं हूँ, आई एम जस्ट लाइक दैट, आई एम अ फॉलन सोल, आई एम फॉलन सोल। लेट उदित प्रभु से यू आर अ फॉलन सोल, यू आर नथिंग, एंड देन व्हाट इज योर इमोशंस, वो सही टेस्ट होगा।
एग्जैक्टली प्रभु
वहाँ
जी,
पे प्रभु
मतलब
जी थोड़ा हस्बैंड वाला भी आ जाएगा ना फिर फैक्ट।
नहीं, चलो हस्बैंड वाला फैक्टर डाल देते, कुछ दूसरा प्रॉपर्टी ले लिए, चलिए स्वाति, लेट स्वाति माता जी स्पीक दैट।
राइट राइट, नहीं सही कह रहे हैं आप।
मैं मतलब बिल्कुल एग्री करती हूँ, क्योंकि ये मैंने अभी कुछ दिन पहले ही फील करा था, 2 दिन पहले ही, कि मतलब मैंने 16 राउंड्स बहुत टाइम बाद कंप्लीट करे थे, तो मतलब एक ईगो बूस्ट हो गया था कि अब तो मैंने 16 राउंड्स कंप्लीट कर लिया है, तो आई एम लाइक सच अ हाई एलिवेटेड डिवोटी। लेकिन हमें खुद को ही नहीं पता हम कितने गिरे हुए हैं कि मतलब इतनी छोटी सी बात पे भी एलिवेट हो जाते हैं। तो इतना ज्यादा ईगो आ जाता है अपने अंदर कि हाँ अब तो हम बहुत अच्छे डिवोटी हो रहे हैं, बहुत अच्छा डिवोशन दिखा रहे हैं, बट प्रभु जी है ऐसा, और कोई और
बट
बोलेगा ना तो वो पूरा और बन जाएगा कि इसने बोल कैसे दिया, ये खुद बहुत महान है क्या।
हाँ, तो बस दैट इज द टेस्ट, दैट इज द रियल टेस्ट ऑफ आवर ह्यूमिलिटी।
यस यस प्रभु जी।
Anyway, any other points, anyone?
यस प्रभु जी, रियलाइजेशन है, मतलब जैसे मैं अपने लिए बता रहा हूँ ना कि मैं ना बहुत ज्यादा चीपली ले जाता हूँ कभी कभी। जैसे ये जो मूवमेंट है ना इस्कॉन, मैं कभी कभी इतना मतलब कभी पढ़ते भी हैं, सुनते भी आ रहे हैं काफी टाइम से, उसके बाद भी ऐसा लगता है कि जो भी प्रभुपाद ने किया ना, मतलब अभी ये प्रेयर सुन के मतलब और ज्यादा रियलाइज हो रहा था कि बहुत ज्यादा चीपली ले जाता हूँ कि ये तो कोई भी कर सकता है। या फिर ऐसा ये दिमाग में आता ही नहीं कि किसी ने क्या करा है, अभी जो चल रहा है बस उसी पे फोकस रहता है। लेकिन जब ये प्रेयर्स पढ़ता हूँ ना और सिचुएशन ये समझने की कोशिश करता हूँ, तो समझ आता है कि ये कितना बड़ा, मतलब माउंटेन एवरेस्ट को तोड़ने से भी ज्यादा बड़ा काम करा है जो प्रभुपाद ने किया है। और मतलब हमें, मतलब मुझे इसके लिए, मतलब जो ग्रेटिट्यूड है वो तो हमेशा शो करना ही चाहिए। लेकिन ये चीज जो है, ये तो मतलब ऐसा लगता है कि अगर इसे और ढंग से इस पे विचार करूं, कॉन्टेम्पलेट करूं कि प्रभुपाद ने क्या, मतलब क्या करा है हमारे लिए, हमें क्या दिया है, तो और लगता है कि और ज्यादा रिस्पेक्ट बढ़ जाएगी इस्कॉन के लिए, प्रभुपाद के लिए, और सीरियसनेस आएगी भक्ति के लिए। और फिर ये समझ आएगा कि भक्ति क्यों करनी चाहिए इतनी बुक्स पढ़ने के बाद। कभी कभी मेरे साथ ऐसा हो जाता है, मतलब कभी क्या, मोस्टली इग्नोरेंस में ही रहता हूँ मैं तो। और उसमें फिर वो मतलब अभी जैसे पढ़ के ना प्रभुपाद की सिचुएशन की, इट वाज नॉट इजी टास्क। ये ऐसा नहीं है कि एक आदमी है उसने कोई कंपनी खड़ी कर दी। इस्कॉन ऐसा नहीं है। इस्कॉन मतलब इस्कॉन जैसी कोई संस्था बनाना, एक ऐसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बनाना जिसमें वॉलंटरली पूरा वर्ल्ड इन्वॉल्व हो चुका है आज के टाइम में, तो वो कुछ ऑर्डिनरी नहीं है, वो भगवान की ही मर्जी है। वो जो भविष्यवाणी हुई थी पहले कि कोई पाश्चात्य देश में जाके कोई प्रचार करेगा, वो इट इज गॉड्स मर्सी। ये कोई इंडिविजुअल मूवमेंट नहीं है कि प्रभुपाद बहुत मतलब ऐसा तो कुछ था कि जैसे कोई और भी संत है वो चले गए। प्रभुपाद का इन्वॉल्वमेंट तो है ही पूरा पूरा, साथ में ये भगवान की ही मर्जी है और भगवान की कृपा से ही हो रहा है। और इस वजह से इस मूवमेंट की ऑथेंटिसिटी और ज्यादा बढ़ जाती है। मतलब ये मेरा रियलाइजेशन है। और मतलब अगर हम इसे समझें तो भक्ति में और ज्यादा हम सीरियस हो सकते हैं और इस मूवमेंट को सर्व कर सकते हैं। यस प्रभु जी।
बहुत अच्छा रियलाइजेशन है प्रभु जी। इसमें बस मैं एक पॉइंट ऐड करूंगा कि बहुत सारे भक्तों ने, प्रभुपाद के डिसाइपल्स ने प्रभुपाद के जाने के बाद इस्कॉन छोड़ दिया था, लेकिन प्रभुपाद कभी नहीं छोड़े और उन्होंने प्रभुपाद को हमेशा पकड़ा रहा। और आज भी मेरे जैसा भी व्यक्ति, अब तो खैर काफी समय हो गया है, बट बीच में बहुत डाउट्स क्वेश्चन आते हैं, रहता है ना अगर इस्कॉन में, लेकिन प्रभुपाद हमेशा याद आते हैं ना, वो रोक लेते हैं। जब उनकी लाइफ को देखते हैं, जब उनको वो देखते हैं, तो वो ऐसा लगता है कि नहीं यार, हमने भगवान को देखे ना। क्योंकि कई बार वो लगता है ना कि यार भगवान है, आ जाते क्वेश्चन, अच्छा ये सारा चीज जैसा बता रहे थे ना, क्वेश्चन का डाउट्स आते रहते हैं। बट देन वी सी ओ प्रभुपाद, एंड व्हेन यू सी प्रभुपाद, आई मीन देन अपने आप फेथ आ जाता है भगवान में। सो डेफिनेटली, एंड इट वुड बी गुड अगर आप जैसे थोड़ा टाइम निकाल के प्रभुपाद का लाइफ बायोग्राफी पढ़ सकते हैं अपने आप, या फिर उनका वीडियोस देख सकते हैं। उनके वीडियोस हैं, पूरा एपिसोड टीवी पे सीरियल बना हुआ है, और हियर लेक्चर। सो it would be good to know him more.
यस प्रभु जी।
I think we can stop here, Prabhuji.
यस प्रभु
Yeah,
जी,
sorry, go
श्योर।
ahead.
यस, नो नो नो, मतलब आपका आप बिल्कुल रेलेवेंट है कि मतलब हमें प्रभुपाद के बारे में पढ़ना चाहिए। अगर कभी मिसकंसेप्शन भी आते हैं, कोई मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग भी होती है ना टेम्पल में कहीं भी, तो प्रभुपाद का अगर पढ़ रखा होगा तो आदमी डेविएट नहीं होगा, एटलीस्ट मूवमेंट से डेविएट नहीं होगा। तो वो
Yes,
पढ़ना चाहिए
yes.
प्रभुपाद के बारे में। यस प्रभु जी, वी कैन स्टॉप प्रभु जी। अगर किसी को ऐड
Yes,
करना है तो कर सकते
all
हैं।
right.
यस, ओके, यस यस प्रभु जी।
Okay, Prabhuji then. Vancha kalpatarupascha kripa sindhu vacha patitanam pavne bhayo vaishnavyo namo namah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you for joining everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.